In this video, we want to show how one can use a survey or a quiz to revitalize interest in one's product. The client in this case is a very interesting situation, and it is a dating situation where the members have a generally positive attitude, but it has suffered a lot since COVID. And we are finding that the membership in the dating site has gone down by about 50% since COVID. So here I'm using ChatGPT, and we're going to work out a bunch of questions how we can revitalize the interest for your product on the example like this here. So here's the first prompt that I'm giving it. So I'm saying the members of our dating site suffered a lot since COVID. Then we are saying loneliness, good, this and that. And now here's the trick. Before we start with our own survey, we're going to scour real review sites and social media to find the exact words that our customers use when talking about their struggles with using dating site and dating and relating. So we ask ChatGPT research on real review sites only and look for common patterns or repeating ideas that come up over and over again, and then give us some messaging points in each of these categories. And basically, we need to talk in the language that our customers use when they express those problems for themselves. So that was the very first thing we did, basically a survey into social media and review sites. Good. So then what ChatGPT gave me is it said it looked at Trustpilot, Reddit, and YouTube comments, and it was looking for problems and pain points and dream outcomes, right? So that is basically what people experience since the COVID dating scene. The dating stuff went down a lot since COVID. All right. So then ChatGPT found these problems. Dating feels like a job interview, so many matches, but no one replies. Hookup culture is different, feeling too old, and so on. Emotionally draining, and people are lonely. So there's basically a whole bunch of problems that they were listing. Then here we can see what they tried that didn't work. So ChatGPT asked for that as well. And so we basically get a quick idea of these points, right? So this is basically giving us an important set of problems that they're having. And then, of course, here also dream outcomes. What are the things that people want to achieve if in the ideal situation? So we can see that here. And now ChatGPT could make that into a website or email campaigns or this or that. So, all right. But what we are asking for now is this. From that research, can you find out any particular patterns that did work? What specifically did people do to find dating and family success? So then it found another set of things. So basically, this here is another set of answers. And you could ask similar questions in your market niche. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Good. And then it says, with this, we can use these approaches to our audience or platform. And this is what we're trying to do now. So here's my next question. We're basically saying, yes, this is now about us. So we are saying we are a small online dating service, been online for 20 years. And then we are saying during COVID, things went down substantially into the drain. And let's see, what else are we saying? So you can see it's basically a good explanation of what we have perceived so far. And now ChatGPT will combine what we have perceived and its own knowledge, because this is all in the same thread. And so we can see that now we want to, let's see, what are we saying now? So basically, we are now saying we want to create a survey for our old and possibly new members so that it will generate a great and successful harmonious relationship. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a survey to revitalize this whole game. And we asked ChatGPT, please make a quiz or survey that we can use as an online form. And here, of course, we will use that in our accelerator software, but you could use other uh, uh, systems as well for the surveying. And we say, let's aim for 30 questions. And then we say, well, let's look at maybe these categories. So, and we also ask ChatGPT to suggest other categories, questions, and possible answers. Good. So let's look at what it came up with. So here it came up with this thing here. So basically, under the perception of loneliness, it comes up with these questions there. And then another category here, willing to use an online dating service. Good. So it comes up with a lot of questions. Now, for us to be able to copy and paste that into our um, software, it needs to have a particular formatting. So we basically want to have the category with no indentation. The questions will have 4 spaces before it, and the answers have 8 spaces before it. And if ChatGPT formats them like this, then we can copy the entire ChatGPT straight into our software, and it makes them instantly into the perfect formatting question. And so here, that's what I did in here. I basically said, great. Now, can you format this into one block? 0 spaces, 4 spaces, and 8 spaces. And then I can copy and paste this one block in one shot into the database. Right? And then the database will be able to give us the questions manually. Now, here's a couple of more tricks that are quite interesting. Here it suggests that it is possible to take those results and make them into so-called dynamic outcomes. That would mean that it's going to be more personal and relevant. So we can basically say, well, here ChatGPT suggests that we could have a couple of result type of people. What type of person are you? Are you ready for love? Hopeful but hesitant, disconnected, healing before connecting, spiritual pathfinder. So it looks like it came up with these 5 categories that could be a result from the testing. And so then it now came up with even more stuff. Oh yeah, here then basically it explains each category, ready for real love, right? That's what that means. Good. And then it can say reactivate your profile today, and let's have you get connected. Good. You're hopeful but hesitant. Ooh, try a 7-day membership, right? And then come back with what's possible. You're healing. That's okay. And all right. So it basically makes pretty intelligent suggestions. Good. So now we're going to basically do the same 30 questions, and we're going to assign points with this dynamic results thing. We have ready for real love, hopeful, curious, connecting, healing, healing before connecting. And so now it came up with the same questions, but for each answer, it basically started giving scores for for that HBH, hopeful but hesitant. All right, HBH, hopeful but hesitant. Good. So, and then it gives points to that. Good. So that was the question, that was the answers that we've given. Good, very good. So the next thing we could do is it gives then a result page for the dynamic results. Comes up here, this thing. You're ready for real love. Good, excellent. That's the story. You're hopeful but hesitant. Good, here's the story for that. And so it comes up with a lot of stuff. And then in our accelerator, we can generate PDF reports, or you could use some other system to do that. And let's look at some other interesting points. So here one could make the questionnaire longer, but I think initially it's good to start with 30 questions or so. That takes about 3 to 5 minutes for a person to answer. Good. Let's see, what are other interesting factors that we did here? So good. All right. So here again, it made almost many more questions. We don't need that right now. Here, I want to show some other interesting results that we've had. Here's the outcome score. Good. All right. More questions. Good. Now, uh-huh. Good. Okay. Mhm. Here's another interesting thing one can do. ChatGPT is quite good at that. Some of these questions may be quite boring. So the right thing then to ask is, can you word those questions so that they are more fun to answer and maybe a bit thought-provoking? And so then it basically takes those same questions and it will come up with deeper reflection, emotional resonance, and so the stuff sounds a little bit better, right? So let's say here, if loneliness had a color, what shade would your life be right now? So that's like a much more playful kind of wording, right? If companionship were medicine, how big is your current dose? So it's quite fun what it makes out of that. And so we later then decided to go with these new questions because um, those things were just more fun. Again, we went in with that new formatting here. Imagine if peaceful da da da, and so and so. If love were a garden, what would you want to grow with a partner? So it looks like almost went a bit overboard here in this case. Um, all right. So that's how we can use ChatGPT then to make beautiful questions, and one could then actually paste them straight into our software, and it will make that automatically into a quiz. And the quiz would look something like this here. So basically, then we say, great. When was the last time you felt truly seen and understood by somebody? So this, we actually that has to go still. But then people can just answer the questions, and it's very fast to do that. And that gives you feedback then. And this feedback gets stored together with the user profile in a database. So that's how this works. A very fast way to integrate. What was different here, normally we can just use Accelerator directly and just fill out these the setup screen. Here's the setup screen for this. So one could just say, who is selling? What are you selling? Give a detailed description. Good, type that in here. Describe your target audience, da-da-da-da, and then give some categories, and then you click the button, and then it will generate the question. But if we use Accelerator outside of, if we use ChatGPT outside of Accelerator, you see we can actually have some sort of a dialogue that builds up until you have the right result. So here we ask, make it more fun, come up with more categories, do this and that and the other thing. And so basically each of these questions builds on the final quality of the questions. And then you can feed that straight into our accelerator. And that's what gets you started with beautiful testing.